I'll send it you, Paul. Tim, we'll start with you first three, and then we'll open it up for everyone else. Yeah.
England against Australia are always special games, but the fact that you have a chance to eliminate them from the competition, does that give you an extra layer of motivation going into this one?
I think they're always big games, regardless of what's on the line. I suppose the fortunes that they've had with the weather probably adds a bit to it. Like you said, if like that tournament's on the line in this game, whereas we're already through. But from our perspective, if we're looking to win this tournament and go beyond and win the World Cup, we need to be beating the best sides in the world, and Australia at the moment are one of them.
How important is it that the players don't subconsciously take their foot off the gas and lose momentum ahead of the semi-final?
I think it's important. I think from our side of things, we emphasise the positive game in which we play. Sometimes that can look a little bit reckless at times, and I suppose it can put us in some sticky situations, but we're in a position where we have nothing to lose. We're pretty confident at the moment, and I think the game that we've got, if we produce somewhere near our best, we'll certainly contend.
You've been fully supportive of Jason Roy over the last few weeks and the continuity in the team, but is he someone that you've had to put your arm around, and have you given him any advice in this current sticky spell?
I think advice always floats around when you're going through a bad stage. It's whether it actually registers or not. You know, Jason speaks to everybody. He understands that everybody goes through bad patches. The thing that we emphasise is that we believe a score is around the corner. And let's hope it's tomorrow, yeah.
Did the games against Australia get the team's juices flowing a little bit more than other teams?
I think they do. I think anybody that's been there and played against them before, when you win against Australia, you know you're beating one of the better sides in the world. And like was mentioned earlier, there's always something more on it. I've been in a position where I haven't played in Ashes cricket, and certainly there are other guys like that in the change room. So from that side of things, if you never get to play in an Ashes game, it's as close as you will ever get to beating an Australia team.
I mean, it would be ridiculous to think, would it, that tomorrow's game, if you win, would have any sort of early sort of psychological advantage or boost before the Ashes?
No.
That'd be
none whatsoever. Leave that up to Joe.
Mel?
Leave that up to Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
He's the captain and the best player. No.
Obviously there's been a lot of talk at the Australian camp. Dave Warner suggesting that Cricket Australia is almost trying to derail their campaign and not be supportive with this big MOU dispute. They could be unemployed in a couple of weeks' time if they don't get a deal. Do you have any sympathy or empathy for the players?
We'll have whip round. I don't think Dave will be short. I don't think it is a distraction. Obviously, guys are talking about it a lot during this tournament, but it's been ongoing for a very long time now. It is a difficult position for players to be in, but as a player, you'd rather things were sorted out.
G'day. Is Brendan McCullum a big influence, inspiration to you and the way that New Zealand team played in the World Cup, an inspiration to the side?
He's certainly been an inspiration for me. I had 3 years at Calcutta with him, in which we sort of grew pretty close together, and I learnt a lot from him, watching him lead within a group, and his sort of tactical cricket brain in how he goes about things. He always has an alternative view, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, which makes things really interesting when you chat to him about cricket. But yeah, he has been.
And it's fair to say that's pretty much a blueprint for this England side?
I think I always mention the top 4 teams that got to the semis in Australia and New Zealand. The brand of cricket they played was completely different to everybody else. They were aggressive. They could score 350 if needed. and they always went for an attacking bowling lineup. Nothing they ever did was a step backwards. So that as a template, as opposed to just singling out New Zealand, I think is more relevant. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Owen, is it hard to get a gauge on how Australia's travelling, given they haven't played at all, and has that hampered your team's preparation at all when you haven't seen the batsman bat at all?
They've played a lot of cricket. They don't have any guys who have played like single-figure games, and we just assume they're in good form. You don't take them lightly.
Gideon and Cluffy.
Paul Fargus was very complimentary about your captaincy and your importance to the side. Have you ever felt more in control as a captain than you do at the moment?
That's a difficult question, because I don't think you're ever in total control, and I don't think you should ever assume that you are. There are always things that arise that need to be either dealt with, or future plans that need to be put in place. So I can't say I'm ever in complete control, but certainly I think at the moment people take my views with a bit more of a backing, as opposed to maybe when I first started, with no games under my belt. Yeah.
Do you get a sense of why that is, or is it just sort of winning games?
I think it's building trust. You know, I say things in maybe selection meetings or meetings that we have as a team, and they might be a bit far-fetched, but when we back them up as a side, they're not. And I think that builds trust within a group. So if you can demonstrate what you're trying to say and achieve, and you go and achieve that, I think it goes a long way within a side.
What's the most far-fetched idea you've come up with recently?
Recently, I don't know. That'd probably be telling. Not throwing myself out there to you lads, ladies as well. Sorry, but yeah, there's a few things.
Owen, does it help that this game's at Edgbaston, where the rock and roll crowd often brings the best out of England? I mean, we look at the Ashes Test match here in 2005, and the feast of runs against New Zealand a couple of years ago, Champions Trophy against Australia 2013, which I think you would have been a part of as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a completely different game tomorrow. But yeah, this is a really good ground for us. It's a fantastic stadium. We love coming here. It's normally a beautiful wicket and a high-scoring ground, and that suits us. I think the atmosphere, particularly over that side of the ground, is always quite lively, regardless of how the game is going. So yeah, we always seem to get results here, and that's part of home advantage.
Finish for John.
Can you tell us why you've been singing the national anthem in this tournament?
No.
You can't tell us?
No, I don't want to.
Okay. But is it made a sort of a conscious decision to begin?
I just felt like it.
It's not
Thank
because
you.
not because the Irish have probably told you.
We're in an election. Thank you. Cheers, Gary. Thank you.